Introducing Fidelity Trader Plus, the next generation of advanced trading from Fidelity. Customize your tools and charts and access them seamlessly across desktop, web, and mobile. For faster trades, anywhere you go. Try the all-new Fidelity Trader Plus. Learn more about our most powerful trading platform yet at fidelity.com/trader plus. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE, SIPC.
Ninja One understands that IT teams today are stretched thin, trying to manage too many disconnected tools. So they built a platform that brings them all together. Ninja One unifies endpoint management, autonomous patching, backup, and remote access into a single intelligent platform. That means fewer tools, lower costs, higher efficiency, and a team that has the bandwidth and confidence to stay ahead. Unify IT to simplify work with Ninja One. Learn more at ninjaone.com.
Start your day with Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal. The instant oatmeal ready to help you tackle whatever your day brings. Like wrangling your toddler into their car seat. That was fun. Coaching your 6th graders soccer team. Go girls! And carrying all the groceries in one trip. Whew. Try Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal, granola, and bars. Great taste and a good source of protein. Quaker, bring out the good.
And welcome to How Are the Podcast. It's Gav and you join us. Well, I don't know what day this is going out, but we are building up to the international break. So whatever day you're hearing this on, thank you very much. We have obviously got lots planned over the international break when it comes to the podcast. And as you can imagine, given the fact that it is still very raw, that Newcastle victory, that we will be milking the shite out of it. So we're obviously going to talk a little bit more about that today because why not? But we've also got with us a very, very special guest, and first and foremost, he's not very special, but he's special to me. It's Andrew Smithson. Hello, mate.
Hello, Gav. You saved yourself there.
Yes.
It's a shame that this isn't going out on YouTube or anything, because when you introduce our guest, we're all looking smart. We've got a nice Sunderland away kit, and seeing as we're going to be talking about Sunderland businesses and that, you and me both happen to have Berghaus on. And they've got like a big office in Sunderland, so we've managed to represent the city without even meaning to.
Yes, by complete accident. Yes, today we are joined by a friend of the pod. It's Councillor Kevin Johnston. Hello, mate.
Hello, you okay, lads?
Very good, mate. I'm guessing you're feeling as grand as we are after that at the weekend. I mean, you all sat there with your resplendent blue Sunderland away shirt on, and I'm sure you've been proudly walking around, peacocking around Newcastle fans, I'm sure, while you've had the chance to do that this week.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was fitting for today's podcast. So, I mean, I would like to say it's Brian Brobby's top, but it would be a bit too baggy on me, I think, if it was the original Brian Brobby's blue top. But yeah, I thought it was fitting to wear it today for do this.
Are you buzzing about that? Like, still, I can't switch off from it. Honestly, I've consumed every little bit of video and content, and even just like listening to Mags cry about it. It's been brilliant. Like, are you been the same as me?
Yeah, I mean, there's been some great social media footage that the clubs have put out. There's a YouTube video going out here, which is like 20 minutes length, which shows you the fans arriving inside the ground, the goals going in. But there's some fantastic photos, particularly when Brian Brobby scores the winner and he's in front of the Newcastle fans with his top off in the Newcastle defenders line on the ground. It just couldn't be any more fitting in terms of whoever's...
Looks like he's just absolutely decked him, doesn't it, that photo? It's great.
He's walked away with his edge, scored the winning goal, and yeah, I mean, what a week. It's been fantastic. And I think for me, we won the first game, and then to do the second and do the double over them, it's just been amazing. I remember I was taking my son to swimming in the summer last year before obviously the Premier League started with the fixtures round, and I bumped into a Newcastle fan who I used to work with, and I hadn't seen him for years. And the first thing he said was like, normally you say, "Hello, mate, how are you doing? How's the family?" That type of rhetoric. And the first thing he said was, "Can't wait to take 6 points off you this season." So that's the first thing I thought of when the final whistle went, that, cheers, we've got the 6 points off you. So it's, I I can't wait to see him again. I'll probably be going swimming every day this week to try and bump into him and take my Sunderland swimming towel and be ready for that. But yeah, it's nice when you have that sort of, you can get back at them in that way.
Absolutely. One of these days, Andrew, they will learn to shut their mouths, Mags, like, won't they? Like, why even say 6 easy points? I mean, it's come back to bite them on the arse in the biggest way possible. Because we didn't just get a point here and nick a win or whatever. It was 6 easy points for us. So, but then next year, there'll be something else. They'll say something else stupid and it'll come back to bite them on the arse again. And they do it every time.
You're dead right. It's all part of the fun for me, because they back themselves into a corner, make all these outlandish comments, and then when it goes against them, they've not given themselves any like kind of wiggle room. The thing is, though, Gav, it's easy for you and me to say this. Unfortunately for Kevin, he's got to keep the voters happy as well. So he's got a difficult line to tread and still keep relations a bit more warm than you and I need to.
Yeah, I'm not bothered about upsetting any Newcastle fans. I think we've earned this right to gloat, to be honest, Kevin, don't you? Given I said this on a piece I wrote for the website, but the first thing that came to my mind when I did sit back and think about the fact we'd beaten Newcastle again was like we've earned this. I was in that stadium at the Stadium of Light when we lost to Cheltenham and we lost games to Burton Albion, and we finished mid-table in League One. So that's always my barometer of like how carried away I can actually get. I think, well, actually, considering it was 2 minutes ago that I saw the club at its lowest ebb, I'm going to milk every single moment like this, because you never know what the future holds. And hopefully the trajectory of the club keeps continuing and keeps rising high. And we go on to do a lot more of this sort of thing, beating Newcastle and having really great days like we had. But I do just always remember where we've came from. You've got to, haven't you? And that keeps us grounded, I think. When I'm talking about mags shooting themselves in the foot with things they're saying, we could sit here all day listing them off, because there's been so much of it. But I think we're a very grounded, humble community of people. And that comes from hardship. That comes from difficulty. And the only way you come out the other side is by remembering what it felt like when you weren't in a good place. And I think that's been a really, really good measure for us as fans, for the football club, for the players, even the ones who weren't at the club when we were in a bad spot. I just think that's kind of led us to this point where we can really enjoy and savour these moments because we know we've earned them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we started watching Sunderland until I died. My son, he obviously hasn't seen it before. And so the first season was from the 2016-17 season. So within less than 10 years, isn't it? It's where we've come from as a club. And even watching one of the episodes, I think it was Barnsley away in August 2017, we got beat 3-0. And I paused the telly because I could see myself in the crowd that day behind the goal in the away end. And it just makes it so much more appreciated as to where we are now and getting these results. And growing up in the 90s as a Sunderland fan in Newcastle and what with Kevin Keegan and all that they had going on, and then into the 2000s. So they've had their moments. And I never thought that sitting in the Stadium of Light in 2011, when being so deflated when Ryan Taylor scored that free kick, that all these years later they would never have beat us in the league. It's just amazing to think that we've gone on that amazing run and got that hold over them. And as you see, hopefully that continues for a few more seasons. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've seen any of the fan clips from a Newcastle perspective, Andrew. But there was a kid who's on YouTube. I can't remember his name. But he's walking around in the bowels of St James's Park before the game, just before the Sunderland fans arrive and are coming through and being escorted through. And the mags are singing about Albert Luque and Ryan Taylor. And he says something, I don't think he realises how funny that probably sounds to people like me, who obviously don't care less about Newcastle. But it was like a moment of truth. It was like, I wish we'd stop singing about these games and these players, because we haven't beat them in 15 years. I want a new Ryan Taylor. I want a new Albert Luque. And you kind of can easily forget how long ago it has been since we lost. I can just about remember because I sit in the southwest corner, and I remember that goal, the Ryan Taylor one, where it flew over Mignolet's head. He was completely wrong-footed and it goes into the top corner. And it feels like Well, it was ages ago. It feels like even longer than it probably was. But it's true. Like, I asked this question on the pod the other day with Damien Spellman and Martin when I said to them both, can you put your finger on what it is that we've got over them? And as I've thought about it this week, I do think it's that humility that we've got compared to them. I think no matter who their manager is, no matter who the players are, they go into these games with an inflated sense of importance. And I just think that's why they don't beat us. I used to say this about us against Middlesbrough. I used to say they see it as a derby, we don't, and they treat it with more importance. And it's not quite that, but it's similar, I think, when it comes to us in Newcastle. I think they don't go into it with a level-headedness that we do, which is why time and time again, different groups of players have found a way through Newcastle and have managed to get results.
I think with Craig Gordon, when he said these comments after the game, when he's still tried to say they're a better team than us. You've just been beaten by Sunderland twice this season. How can you turn around and make that type of comment?
Craig Gordon,
still,
poor Craig Gordon's done nothing wrong. I mean, Anthony Gordon, of course.
Oh, you're not Anthony Gordon, sorry.
Craig Gordon kicking off about Sunderland all these years later. Can you imagine? No, but it's true. And I said that the other day. But yeah, Andrew, I mean, that was my kind of reading of it. You know, it was that. I might be wrong. People might tell us I'm wrong, but I've been trying to because there's got to be a reason that we keep beating them.
I think you're dead right. It's way, way beyond personnel in playing squads and what have you, because some of these lads are new to the region and what have you. I do think, and I'm not just saying this because this pod's going to focus on the city's development and that. I do think there has always been a general idea that perhaps Newcastle football fans and certain residents from the city just look down on Sunderland. I've seen lots of tweets that kind of back up the Anthony Gordon idea and fans saying, how have we lost to them? They're not as good as us. I just genuinely think there's a general feeling that they are superior. We even saw with the banner. I think it said something like capital.
The region's capital.
Yeah.
Welcome to the region's capital.
Well, I'm sorry, but speaking as a Sunderland resident, I think the strides we're making, they might not even be able to make that claim, because there's a lot of investment, there's a lot of development, a lot of things happening in the city, and certain people have grown up with a different idea and a stereotype of what Sunderland is. And it is hard for people to maybe get their head around the fact that things are changing. And as we've said there, the club is a completely different club. Some of them perhaps still look at us as like some sort of League One jobbers who fluked our way and just expected to roll us over. So I do think there's just a general attitude, and it's not everybody, but there is a feeling that perhaps we should just know our place. And then suddenly when the game kicks off, it's a bit like, oh, maybe they're better than we give them credit for.
Well, I don't know if you saw, Kevin, there were a few social media clips, and I think it was the French lads, maybe Siddiqui too. You know, they were walking through the tunnel and they were on the pitch and they were saying, this is home. They were basically saying, we own this place. Like, you know, like there was no fear about the Sunderland players. And I watched that on the road video the club put out, which to me is one of the best bits of match footage I've ever watched. From start to finish, brilliant. How they've pulled that together at short notice is commendable. But in that video, and people might miss this if they kind of just watched it quickly or whatever, but as the players are emerging onto the pitch at St James's to do the warm-ups, they're being booed by the Newcastle fans. And you can hear Mayenda and Siddiqui and I think Diarra, they're just going boo, boo, they're taking the piss. You know, they're shouting boo, boo, like that. When I saw that, I thought, brilliant, brilliant. No fear. They don't give a shit about Newcastle. They don't care where they are. They're not scared of Newcastle. They don't feel inferior. They just ran out there. These are young lads, really young lads, and they just were like, oh, you know, and I love that, mate. I think the way that these this squad, these players have really bought in to us as a city, as a club, as a community. It's just unbelievable, and you've got to say hats off to the people at the club. You know, from the people top to bottom, really, the ones who are there day to day. the people in recruitment who are trying to find the right type of people to bring to Sunderland. Like it's culminated in what we've achieved over the last sort of 18 to 24 months, really, hasn't it? We've just got a really good squad and but not just a good squad. We've got good people at the club, and it's great to see us being treated with respect internally. You know, it's gone are the days when people used to come to Sunderland just for an easy ride and an inflated pay packet. Now they come to earn the money, and I just think it's great, isn't it, to see that these lads are from all corners of the world. You know, the two goal scorers on Sunday. You've got Brian Broby, Shemzin Talbi. One's from the Netherlands with Ghanaian family. The other lad's a Moroccan Belgian. You know, right through the squad, we've got a local lad, Chris Rigg. We've got, you know, French lads. We've got a goalkeeper, a young kid from Sweden. Like, all these people have come from every corner of the globe to represent Sunderland, and they just get it. And I think it's great, isn't it?
It's brilliant, yeah. I mean, obviously what we want to be is an international city which is connected around the world, and the players on the pitch who are delivering for Sunderland at the moment couldn't epitomise that any more than what they're doing at the moment. Like you say, they've come to the city and they've just getting it, they've gelled. And I know the last time we won, the season obviously hadn't kicked off then, so we were all a little bit, how was it going to go? But it couldn't have gone any better in terms of that recruitment and getting young technical players in, but just the ones who will do everything for the shirt in that 90 minutes. And that's what they've given us this season. And I hope that we can keep them for another few seasons. Yeah, they're all tied into 5-year contracts, and I want them to stay and be part of Sunderland and part of the journey. And let's see where we can go as a club and as a city over the next few seasons.
Yeah, I'm excited too for the future, Andrew. You know, with the club and the city going hand in hand, we're destined for great places, really.
I genuinely believe so. And Kevin, does it help in your position? Say, for example, you're sitting down with an investor or a developer or a third party. Does it help the fact that Sunderland are in the Premier League and people know where the city is and we've got a lot of eyes on us? Is it fair to say that the team doing well does help the city progress?
Definitely. I mean, with the opening of Kale Crossing last year, we've seen a massive uptake in businesses wanting to relocate to the city centre, certainly in the Beam and in the Yard. People who followed the club as well, and they want to be located right in the city centre, right next to the club. They want to be part of it. They want their employees to be part of it, who are travelling in when they're entertaining guests and other businesses coming in. So it all just fuels that momentum of sort of Sunderland is the place to be.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Absolutely. Anyways, chaps, we'll jump for a quick break, and then we'll come back. We'll dive right into this city regeneration stuff. I know last time you were on, Kev, everybody loved hearing all the updates about what's been going on in the city. So we'll do that after the break. We'll see you soon.
Baseball is back, and the first pitch is on Netflix. The New York Yankees, led by 7-time All-Star Aaron Judge, head to the San Francisco Bay to take on Rafael Devers' San Francisco Giants. This season kicks off with one exclusive opening night game. Watch MLB Opening Night, the New York Yankees versus the San Francisco Giants, live on Netflix. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you stuck staring at your W-2? Are tax refund worries holding you back? You probably have FOMO, the fear of messing up. The fix? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Welcome back to How Are the Podcast, and kind of done gloating about the derby for this episode at least. But on just as important matters, I think, really, and the key reason we got you on today, Kev, was to chat a little bit about what's going on in the city of Sunderland right now? I mean, we touched on it there. Sunderland and Newcastle have going back a very long time, really. I think it's fair to say that the majority of the big investment in the northeast in the region over the past 20 or so, 30 or so years has been directed mainly towards Tyneside, and Sunderland have suffered as a result. But that's not the case now. You're looking at the city, and I spend all my money, all my time in Sunderland. I never use anything in Newcastle because I detest the place. But and I'm that petty. I am that petty, right? So I'm in Sunderland all the time, and I'm seeing all of the change all the time. Every time I go into the town, I see, into the city, and I see the new buildings popping up, and you see the kind of the tarpaulin coming down on some of the building sites, and this amazingly redeveloped structure, and you're just looking at places now and going, wow, that's ours, that's us, I think last time you were on, there was a bunch of stuff just happening around that point, and obviously the big one for me was Crownwork Studios down on Pallion, which obviously has gone through a bit of turbulence, I think it's fair to say, but we seem to be going out the other side of it now, and it looks like that first phase of build has been approved, and the investment's been approved, and it looks like it's all systems go down there, which is obviously massive news, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously we're in a bit of a volatile world at the moment in terms of what's going on in investments, but again, I'm pleased that we're able to get to this point where we can supercharge that Crownwork site now. We're keen for it to become one of the biggest film studios in the north of England. So construction expected to start probably by July, with completion by the end of next year, which is 2027. So this will obviously be capable of hosting live events, game shows, as well as potential blockbuster films and TV projects. So production in the northeast is actually thriving at the moment, up around 130% in the last 3 years. So there is investment marked for this. It's sustained growth. And we really want to make Northeast a powerhouse on this in this industry, because this is the jobs for the future for people who are at college, university, and we want them to stay and live in Sunderland and be part of that. So we've already received some interest from some pretty big production companies who are keen. So we're confident it will be a success. And I know for me, and obviously yourselves and people listening who are mad about the city and would really love to see this happen and flourish as well. It's taken on a bit more of a similar role as what we did with Riverside Sunderland in the early days, with the being that anchor sort of building and then building from that. And you can see where that's progressed to now with the Keel Crossing, with the Sheepfolds and the Faber building. So there's no reason why this model can't be replicated with the Crownwork Studio. And I'm really looking forward to see that rise out of the ground over this next year. And then those jobs coming through for people to obviously be part of.
Yeah, I was chuffed, Andrew, when I saw the news about that, because it obviously it was disappointing to hear that some of the investment had been pulled originally, but for the city, it's going to be massive, isn't it? I mean, Kev's talking about a lot of different things that are going on, and what it does feel like is happening is that the city we're trying to harness our creativity, and bring creatives to Sunderland, and the creatives that are in Sunderland, giving them places to operate, to thrive, which that hasn't been a possibility. They've probably had to go into Newcastle or elsewhere further afield to hone their craft, where now what this statement tells people is that, you can stay in Sunderland and you can do your job. And I'm sure you were like me, Andrew, you were chuffed when you saw the news.
Definitely. Over the moon. And you're right, it gives an outlet for a lot of very talented people from Sunderland, but it also gives an outlet to other people who might end up moving to Sunderland and wanting to set up home or bring a family up here, because these are modern jobs where people can express themselves. I mean, I think whenever you try and create an ambitious project like this, and you see it with the football team as well, things will go wrong. You'll have bad results on the pitch. You'll have maybe changes in investors. I think whenever you're trying to create something of this scale and you've got international investors lined up, you're always going to be at the mercy of worldwide events, and the plans will change from time to time. I think it's important, though, that, nobody said, right, well, that's it. Let's just scrap the idea. Oh, Sunderland can never have anything nice. We've dealt with the negative news and the ups and downs along the way, and we're still coming out with this exciting project. So yeah, it speaks volumes, and it's going to get international eyes and different people looking at Sunderland and saying, hey, it's a canny modern place. That, it's not all flat caps and wickets like some people like this think,
Yeah, and
I think for me as well.
Go on,
Sorry,
Kev,
I was just going to. The last time we spoke, we mentioned around people's perceptions and visiting fans coming into the city. Some who might not have been before, and some who might be coming for the first time in 10 years. And I've been watching the fans' channels who've been coming to Sunderland just to pick up on what their thoughts were, the ground and the club and the city. And one of the ones for me, I don't know if you've seen, but Bournemouth fans channel on YouTube. They do a ranking system for away games.
All right.
They do it on like a scoring of 10, and what it's around like the city, the pubs, people, the stadium, the view, and the atmosphere, that type of thing, and they scored out of 10. And Sunderland actually went top of the league on their scoring charts.
All right.
After we played them and beat them 3-2. I think we might have knocked Newcastle off the top of the list. So I don't know if we're still there now because they're still going through the season. They've still got a away game. So potentially we might finish top of the league on the Bournemouth fans channel for city and clubs to visit as an away day.
I like that get that little dig in there. We've been doing it all week, don't worry. And even before the game, any digs we can get in, we might as well keep it going. The other big bit of news, I guess, was around the Sheepfolds development and the talks between the council and the club. I think last time we were on, that might not have all kicked off at that point, so a lot's kind of gone on in the interim period, but it looks like we're back in a happy place. New plans have been submitted for the area in conjunction with the club. What can you kind of tell anybody about that maybe isn't aware of what's going on? I mean, probably people have seen the plans for Legends Way outside the ground, and that's all going to feed into the development of that area, isn't it? So that was, I presume, a part of that. But what can you tell people about what's going on around the stadium and into Sheepfolds?
Well, we've worked really closely with the club over a number of years now. We've got a great working relationship with them, and I was pleased that after that initial sort of consultation phase went out and the conversations we were able to have with them on a regular basis since then, we've been able to come to a way forward for both the stadium and expansion plans in the future, which we all want, and also the Sheepfolds to extend and flourish and drive regeneration as well. So fantastic we got to that stage. I'm pleased that after that initial sort of planning's an emotive subject. We all know that when it's close to people's hearts and when it's close to their visitors, their homes. I've got a total understanding of that. I've been doing this for 5 years, so I think it was just a case of keeping that level-headed approach, taking on the consultation feedback that we did, and then because it was never a case where one had to be over the other. Both could still go hand in hand, and I'm delighted now, like you say, we've got Legends Way coming. The big Welcome to Sunderland sign, similar to what was at the back of the Fulwell end, will be on the back of the Roker end as well. So that image of coming across Cale Crossing is just going to be even more impressive, an image of the club when you're coming on a match day as well. And I think for me, David Bruce hit the nail on the head when he did an interview with the Northern Echo a few months back now, where again he spoke about the council and the club and how we've enjoyed a closer working relationship over these past couple of years. And I think that's been certainly highlighted in the way we've done the development on the Sheepfolds. And we want the club to grow and we want the city to grow. And this is a perfect example of how we can do that together.
It's going to look great, isn't it, Andrew? I can't wait to see it when it's all done. I think it's been a big, it's not a bugbear, but I would say, since the stadium opened in 97, there's not been a lot of work done to the sort of the wider area around the ground, or even just the stadium itself. When you think about it, as a stadium coming out of the packet, it looked fantastic, but then it's been a long time since then. We're talking about, almost 30 years. And when I've been in on meetings with the club over the last year or so, the idea has been raised that it needs to feel more like home. It needs to feel more than just another stadium. It could be anyone's ground. if you and you're walking up to it and you go, well, who plays here? I don't know. Because unless you were at the main entrance of the ground where there's the big badge on the front and the Murray Gates and all that, you could argue that it's very difficult to see signs of what the stadium is. So this is, I mean, Kev got it perfect there. Like, as you come over Keel Crossing, that's what you're going to see. And it's a bit like, not the same, but similar. It's a bit like our Wembley way, really, isn't it? You come up from the tube station at Wembley, and what's the first thing you see? You see that big walkway down to the ground and the arches, and you know where you are. And I just think that's the image that's going to become synonymous with this club when people think about the stadium. Well, when you get over that bridge and you see the Welcome to Sunderland sign. I mean, I can't wait to see it.
It's going to look the business. It's going to look really good. And it's a big part of Sunderland AFC is its identity and the community feeling that they've always been hand in hand. I might even suggest perhaps more so than a lot of other clubs. So yeah, making that area feel all connected and all part of it sounds brilliant. I'm a sucker for things like that. I think the Welcome to Sunderland signage before going up at Roker Park was actually on the Wearmouth Bridge as part of the illuminations in the 80s, I think.
All right.
They're moving back a little bit closer to their original home. And yeah, just that whole area, it's already buzzing. It's fantastic. I think the stats are something like on a match day, there's around 10 or 12,000 people using Keel Crossing, I think. So yeah, you've just got this funnel of people who are using Keel Square, using the restaurants and bars there. I think there's a couple of restaurants opening up in the Beam. I think I read that somewhere recently. So yeah, again, local businesses doing well out of it. You then hit the Keel Crossing, and then the first thing you see is this gorgeous stadium and Welcome to Sunderland and celebrating our history, celebrating who we are. And if that isn't going to get you whipped up ahead of kickoff and make you want to make a bit of noise, nothing will,
Yeah. Yeah. As you get over Keel Crossing, Kev, you've got quite a lot going on there now, obviously, around where the City Hall is. Andrew mentioned the Beam, Culture House opening soon. What can we expect to see in the sort of the next 6 to 18 months popping up around there? What maybe people aren't aware of?
Well, Culture House will be opening this year. We haven't got an exact opening date yet, but that'll be announced soon. We had some social media creatives and things in there last week who've done some pieces which seem to go down really well. But again, once it's complete, it'll house like the City Library, art expos. There'll be a coffee shop in there run by Black's Corner as well, who have renovated the tram shelter on the seafront.
Yeah.
So that's another good link there with the regeneration that we did on in Seaburn as well. A lot of like immersive sort of spaces for people to enjoy. So yeah, I think when that opens, that'll have a lot of interest, something different, and I say it'll increase that footfall in Keel Crossing as well, and of course the Eye Hospital, which has now been externally sort of finished. It's just more the internal fitting that's being done now, which will see that eye infirmary move from this location, Ashbrook, into the city centre, and again driving more footfall of people coming into Sunderland from not just locally, but from the wider region as well.
You would tell us, go on, Andrew, sorry.
I was just going to say as well, I don't know if this is council-led or private, but is there been a lot of concerts announced for Keel Square as well? Did I see like a load of summer events have been lined up? I think the Bootleg Beatles, for example, I think there's a few things again that over the summer are going to have people coming into that part of the city centre.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Bootleg Beatles. I mean, I would love to go and see them. I've seen them once before, so if they're coming out, I'll be one of the ones who are there. But yeah, it's good to get that sort of use that space for exactly that. And I think what went down well over the New Year was the fireworks that we did, both the early ones for the children to enjoy, and then obviously the later one as well, which got some fantastic feedback from people who travelled in and wanted to be part of that. I know when the Women's Rugby World Cup opening night was on and people got the opportunity to cross Keel Crossing for the first time, and and just speaking to people there who travelled from all over the world as well as all over the country, and who were really impressed. And actually, we got some comments and emails asking what we were going to do for New Year, because they were keen to come back to Sunderland and be part of it, because they were so impressed with the city and obviously the stadium when they came for the opening match of the Women's Rugby World Cup.
Yeah, you mentioned as well with something else with club links. You mentioned it off air about the Norfolk Hotel, which for anybody who doesn't know what the Norfolk Hotel is, it is in fact the location of the first ever meeting to form the club. Have I got that right, Andrew? Definitely
Yes.
was the case. Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, there's some development work going on there too, Kev. It's obviously got links back to the club.
Yeah, Sunnyside itself, it's got its own player strategy in place in terms of investment. We want to make it a place for creatives and independents to thrive and have that really sort of area for them to all come together. And the Norfolk Hotel will be part of that. I met with Mark from Marengo last week, who's renovated 19 Norfolk Street for exactly that, for independent businesses. And as you say, it'll be 150 years since it was built next year, 2027. And 1879 was when the football club was formed, like you say, with the Sunderland and District Teachers Association, which is started out of when they met at the Norfolk Hotel to form the club. And I think it might have just been a year later when it was then changed to what we have now. So a bit of history there with the club, as well as the regeneration. I know they're keen to celebrate both the 150 years of the Norfolk Hotel, but also the fact that in 2029 it'll be 150 years for the football club as well, which is brilliant. And we'll have to mark that in some special way too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and these are things which obviously, given it was so long ago, people probably, unless they've looked into it, they wouldn't know really, Andrew, that the importance of the Norfolk Hotel to the club's history and stuff. But these are things, we highlight them maybe when people start walking around the area, they notice these things. The important thing is, I think, is when you walk into that city centre, you know where you are. You're in Sunderland, and you understand that the very fabric of the community, the city, is the football club, and you see little glimpses of it everywhere. I mean, there's that great mural, obviously, and I know that building will be demolished eventually, right? But even now, when you go into the city and you see that fantastic mural of Tommy Watson and Dan Ballard, I love it, me. The blue plaques, which are dotted all over the city. I know Frank Stiles is working on regeneration of the Rach Carter mural in Hendon as well. That's going to be coming up soon. So these are all things I think that are really important, that while all this new brilliant stuff's going on, we still remember some of the other things that are already there and look after them as well. Talking about that Rach Carter mural, it's become synonymous. It was used on the Netflix footage often. If you search Sunderland AFC, you can guarantee within 1 or 2 clicks you're going to probably hit that mural of Rach Carter. It's fairly iconic. So yeah, I just think these little things, these little sort of hints back to our past are important too, while all the new stuff's kicking up.
Definitely. And I mean, Gav, in getting me along, it's like I'm some sort of plant, but genuinely Sunderland history, Sunderland future, it's all the type of stuff that I just love droning on about. The Norfolk Hotel is a really good example of how, yeah, we want to recognise our history and be proud of our history, but also not just rely on our past. It's, as Kevin said there, the building's going to be used as a creative space and hopefully help Sunderland move forward as an area. I know it links into that whole Sunnyside development, and there's housing and other studios and creative areas going there. I think there's a potential for a new glass works going in. So yeah, there's all these links and past and future coming together. Norfolk Street, not only was the club formed there, but the fella who went on to introduce the idea of the FA Cup, he was born there. So, Sunderland's got an amazing history to be proud of. It's got an amazing football tradition to be proud of. And I think as well, even if you're not into football, it can still give you pride. I mean, my mum, she's not bothered about football, but she'll still watch the results and she's still pleased when Sunderland win because she knows it's good. It's good for the community and the locals, and it gives everybody a boost. And yeah, there's so much happening and so much to be proud of. Yeah, I don't even know where I'm going now at this point. I'm just going to start writing a love letter to Sunderland, I think.
Sunderland's number one fan over there.
Yeah, quite sad, I know, but
We've also got a Sunderland fan moving into Sunnyside in terms of opening his own bookshop in Caff near Pop Rex is George Clark.
Yes.
So as we expand, obviously, High Street West down to where Pop Rex is and past the new housing in Nine and Villiers Street, it should really connect both Sunnyside right up to Keele Square, really. So it's fantastic that George is again take the opportunity to get part of it himself, and he's going to open his own bookshop on that street.
I mean, he's a fella who I think represents Sunderland on a national level. But just again, linking that area and its history with the club, the pub opposite, I don't know if you know, but you know the decorative tiles on the Bridge Hotel vaults? I think that's the proper name of the hotels. The pubs skip my mind now. But that's what's used on the current goalkeeper's shirts is the design. Yeah. And again, it just all feeds into this idea that businesses, community, football club, city, it's all this one big thing. And if one area succeeds, it helps everything else come along.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And obviously with George Clark as well, he's the Elephant Rock down at Roker on the front there. That's just opened as well recently, and I think he's a part of that, isn't he? That's a Vaux bar stroke coffee spot, which I've been to a couple of times. Really nice. Haven't been down on a night out yet, but I'm dying to. They've got every single Vaux beer on along the back. So again, these little things keep popping up all over the place. I mean, and I'm not just talking about city centre here. This is down on the seafront. And I guess the other big one, Kev, which is coming up, is the BBC Radio 1 big weekend in Herrington Country Park, which again is a little further out of the city centre, but another big thing for Sunderland. I mean, it's great for any city or town that gets that when it comes around once a year, because it's going to bring so many people to the area.
Yeah, I mean, brilliant. I mean, I think it's been 20 years, is it, since it was last in the city. So again, it's not just the main event at Herrington Country Park, but there'll be loads of fringe events as well across the city and in sort of smaller venues, which will also benefit from that, as well as a lot of people who are coming. But there'll be people who come from hopefully all over the country and the region as well to come in and see the transformation that's took place in Sunderland. Yeah, so that'd be brilliant. And also just we wanted to build on from the Women's Rugby World Cup, and obviously we want to be part of the Women's Football World Cup bid in Sunderland to be a host city for that as well. So again, just to show the ambition that we want to bring those international as well as national events into the city as well.
Gav, if I don't mind, I'll just make another advert for Elephant Rock, because my daughter's got a part-time job there. So if anybody does go to the Elephant Rock, please make sure you tip the staff very generously.
If you mentioned you listen to Andrew Smithson on the on How the podcast, you might get a better level of service. You never know. Oh, maybe they'll just chuck your drinks over you. You never know.
The other thing I was just going to say there, mentioned the Radio 1 big weekend. I don't know why, but the BBC seem to be in love with Sunderland at the moment, because I don't know if either of you noticed, but there was a comic relief event at Keele Square last week, and Football Focus came live from the stadium about a fortnight ago, and they showed some brilliant footage of the seafront and the city centre regeneration. So again, people can't fail but notice that this is not the place Sunderland stereotypically used to be. I mean, I've always felt that it was better than people gave it credit for, but it just seems that like everybody's suddenly cottoned on that. Oh, there's so much happening up here at the moment. That might just be me, though. That might just be me.
No,
you know.
Absolutely right, mate.
Yeah, I think we've got that feeling across the city now. As I've said before, people can see the cranes in the sky, the boots on the ground. These aren't just master plans, the CGI images. People are living through that transformational regeneration, and it's nice to see that positivity, because that's what we want. We want people to be positive about the city. We wanted to be high class finishing. Even just when you cross Kale Crossing and you're coming onto the boulevard outside of the sheepfold, it's all being done to a high standard. For people, it's just the extra touches like you see with the club doing around the stadium, and it just all helps to build that picture. And long may that continue. I don't think I'll ever become Sunderland manager with me FA Level 1 coaching badge, but to be part of the regeneration of the city and lead on those projects over the last 5 years has been amazing as a mad Sunderland fan and a lad from the city as well. And hopefully that can continue both for the club and the city moving forward over the next few years. And we'll be doing everything we can to working hard and to keep that exposure and that ambition politically and with officers in the council and with partners like the club. Because like you say, the exposure we've had by being back in the Premier League has been brilliant. It couldn't have highlighted any more the transformation that's taken place.
Yeah, well, and I think that's a good point to kind of end off on, Andrew, is that all of this just seems to be happening in synergy. The city, the club, kind of working in tandem almost by accident, really. You know, the club's just going from strength to strength, as is the city, and it's great. It's great. I love it. I love talking about something. I love championing the place. I love championing the football club. We all do. That's why we're sat here. But it is just brilliant, isn't it? Like, there's not much else to say about it. It's just great. It's not. It's no longer a dour, dreary, depressing place that's made out on the internet or online or on the news. You know, like some people seem to think we are. It really isn't, and people have got to come and see it for themselves, and they are this season. You know, we've been out the Premier League for so long that you've got fans of clubs who've not been here for, you know, probably a decade, maybe longer in some cases, who are looking around and going, bloody hell, this is different. Can't remember it being like this here. And it is, it's just great.
Oh, it is. You use the word synergy, and I think that's a good word to use because everybody seems to be pulling in this direction. The whole atmosphere has changed from a typical Sunderland to a kind of like, why not? Why not attract international film producers? Why not build exciting housing developments and turn sheepfolds into something else? I mean, sheepfold's another thing that's happening which will impact the matches. You know, there's all that beautiful greenery in the park either side of the river. That's going to look great on a match day. Yeah, I mean, like you, Gav, I love talking about this. I've got no problem if people accuse me of being some sort of Sunderland stooge, but I love cracking on about it. There's so much happening. Everybody's attitude and impression is changing. Another thing that's just popped in my head there that might potentially impact the club on a match day. In the background, there's the potential for the Tyne and Weir Metro extension. We've complained in the past that maybe funding hasn't benefited Sunderland as much as other parts of the region. Well, listen, if Washington gets tied up and it's easier to get from Washington to the stadium on a match day, that's going to be great for a lot of fans living in that part of the city. So I think one of the stations is going to be near IAMP. I've just seen there's a new company called Jatco have opened up for business there. Presumably they're bringing in jobs. So everywhere you look, man, things are going great. And even if we had lost to Newcastle at the weekend, I think that'd still be quite positive. So that tells you how good things are going.
Yeah, well, Kev's going to go now and petition on our behalf to change it from the Tyne and Weir Metro to the Weir and Tyne Metro. I think now that we've come out on top in 2 derbies this season, we've now officially won more derbies than they have. I think it's only right that they start calling things Weir and Tyne now instead. But no, thanks, Kev. It's been great to catch up, mate, and I'm sure we'll grab you over the summer, see how things are going as well. I love these little check-ins, and I know Andrew does. He's now going to run through a brick wall for Sunderland, aren't you, mate? I can tell. He's absolutely buzzing. But no, cheers, Kev. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Thank you very much for the invite. No, it's been brilliant. Cheers for giving us the opportunity. But yeah, really proud of what we're doing, and let's see what we can do over the next few years as a club in the city.
And just for anybody who might want to read into this a bit more, where's the best kind of places to look for information on what's going on in Sunderland? And you know, if you just want to check in and periodically say, oh, this is going on, that's going on, where are the best places to look?
Riverside Sunderland is the best sort of Facebook and website as well. Gives you great breakdown of all the different developments that's happening around not just the sheepfolds but both sides of the River Wear, and it gives you some idea of how the housing will look as well. So that's probably the best place to go to just get some idea of what's coming with those developments, which you can see now that on the Vork site the housing's the external work is starting to be completed. So yeah, but Riverside, Sunderland is the best place to go for those.
Or just go for a walk around the city like I do and see for yourself. It's even better.
Definitely.
But yeah. Cheers, Andrew. Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Yeah, there's no Saturday matches for a couple of weekends, so just get yourself in the town anyway, have a walk around, see what's happening.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, this weekend coming up, we've got another Weartime derby, haven't we? We've got the Lasses playing at the stadium on Sunday. Tickets for that game are still available. I think I'm going to go along to that one, take my little girl to our first match. So yeah, that should be fun. But use that as an opportunity if you don't get along to Sunderland very often and you want something fun to do with the kids or whatever. You know, I think the club have got a fan zone open as well. I don't often take in anything other than just the lads really. So I'm gonna get myself along to that one, and I'm sure a lot of other people will be too. But it's quite a family friendly thing. And look, these are other little things that keep happening and keep popping up. You know, the women's team now play at the stadium occasionally, and it's very different to a men's game, and there's more of a family feel about the whole thing as an occasion. And yeah, so that's coming up on Sunday as well. But there's lots and lots coming up. And Andrew, you go on. You've got to get the last word, haven't you? Go on.
I'm really sorry, but just with you talking about the Lasses and they play at Eppleton. I was there last week. Kevin, does Eppleton fall into your ward, or does Copt Hill end before where the Lasses play?
It actually falls into Hetton ward, yeah. So Copt Hill, which will be changing to Horton South and Hetton Downs with the boundary review that's taking place, but it would still fall in Hetton ward, yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. I was wondering if Copt Hill was altering as part of these realignments, but yes. And there you go. I've had my last word, Gav. Thank you.
Andrew's just a proper Sunderland nerd. He's dying. As soon as we hit stop on this recording, he's got another boatload of questions to chuck at Kev. But no. Thanks everyone for joining us. We will be going absolutely nowhere over the international break. We're still going to have podcasts coming every single day because there is never a shortage of things to talk about when it comes to Sunderland. So plenty of chats, interviews, specials. I was saying to Andrew before we started actually. I quite enjoy these little breaks we get because it just means we can do some more fun things like this episode and other bits and pieces. And if there's anybody in particular you'd like us to speak to, or you think there's any stories you want us to highlight around football, the city, anything, get in touch with us. You can find us at Rote Report on all your social media channels. Howie the podcast, safc@gmail.com if you want to reach us by email. But yes, we will be here every single day over the international break, probably talking about that derby win. Until we actually do sicken people by talking about it and they're like, right, come on, we've had enough now. But I just can't get enough of it at the minute. So, yes, we will be going absolutely nowhere. Make sure you stick with us and we'll see you on the next one.
Find the biggest voices in sport on the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Like the Managers with me, Mick McCarthy.
And me, Tony Pulis.
Join us on our podcast, which is all about football managers, talking to football managers about what it's like to be a football manager. Search the Managers and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Sports Social Podcast Network.